Hello, this is Igoro, host of the Igoro Show, and you are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. So keep your ears open and your mouth shut.
Hey, welcome to the Steve and Crypto Show, presented by thestevestrout.com. I'm Steve.
I'm Crypto Zoo. We are at episode 90. Can you believe it? Almost to level 100. I know I said level because I think of this like a video game. Each day we have new adventures. We want to thank you guys for listening. As always, we appreciate your support, each and every one of you. And as always, we're going to throw our little advertisements out there, peddle our wares and all that before we get started.
Promo.
Yeah, we're going to do that as we always do. So if you want to head over to Patreon, we have some exclusive content over there. And we just put out another new little video. We try to put out something every month if we can. Yeah, if we can. We need to try to put out more content, but there's plenty on there to get you started. So if you want to head over to patreon.com/Steve Crypto, you could find us and become a member. We'd love to have you. And also, if you want to wear some fancy new merchandise to support your third favorite podcast, you can head over to our Etsy store, which is Etsy/shop/Steve and Crypto merch. We have 2 different shirts. That's right. 2 different t-shirt designs. We have coffee mugs. We got magnets. Also, you can hit us up personally to get some Steve and Crypto pins for your vest or your bag or whatever it may be.
Stickers,
I believe.
Hats. Yeah.
Yep. I was going to say, I believe you have a couple trucker hats left.
Yep.
And we have stickers as always. We're going to mention some trivia later, horror trivia. And so you can answer the trivia from this episode or really any episode. And if you just contact us personally with the answer, we'll give you some goodies.
Goodies are good. And yeah, so he said the 2 shirts, magnets, and mugs are on the Etsy page. Just go to Etsy. He gave you a link, or you can just go there and search Steve and Crypto. That's the way I do it because I'm too old to be remembering all them long links and shit.
I thought you were about to rattle off the link. Like, look at you go.
Speaking of links, one link I can remember is buymeacoffee.com/Steve Crypto, where you can go and throw us a little something, buy us a coffee, if you will. It's basically like tipping us. Leave a little something in there. It goes towards the show, along with everything we get through Patreon. It helps us advertise, which we've been trying to do a bit of lately. It helps us upgrade, which we upgrade our equipment. We can't upgrade us. We're pretty much broken and unfixable, but that's that buymeacoffee.com/Steve Crypto. Help us out there.
Your contributions will help to fix us just in time.
I'm unfixable. Sorry. Or you can go and follow us both on Instagram and Twitter. He is CryptoZoo88. I am the Steve Strout. We also have a Facebook group for the podcast, Steve and Crypto Show. Just go search that on Facebook. The group will pop up and you can jump in there and say hi or post stuff. We always post stuff about the show. We post other creator stuff. We encourage you to do this. You to do the same, not you to do the same. We encourage you to do as well because that's just part of life and you got to do that. But there's
everybody does.
Go on, social media, share our post, put your own post up about the show. Go and review the show and leave us ratings in places like Spotify and Apple Podcast and Podchaser. I'm not sure.
Your friends. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Tag your friends that are into pop culture and horror. If you see one of our posts or maybe you're, looking around in our Facebook group, tag your friends that might be into it or just throw them an invite.
There you go. Yeah. Tag and spam your friends. That's the best thing to do. Um, so yeah, that's ways you can support the show besides listening. Last week on episode 89, we talked with a filmmaker about his current project, The Evil 3, which is a fan film about Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and Leatherface, which he's, I think they're just starting production now. We talked to CJ Vecchio. It's pretty cool chat with that dude. I definitely contributed to it. You could go look in the show notes from last week and find a link to his campaign for that movie. So definitely check that out. He had a really cool thing where you could like vote on which of the 3 bad guys would win. So that was cool. It's one thing I was involved with. Another thing that I'm personally involved with that I am really excited about is there's a film that's about to start filming called It Came From Somewhere, which is pretty much a nod to the 50s sci-fi and horror stuff like Roger Corman, Ed Wood type stuff, and like the old creature feature films that I love. I guess it's a alien invasion film. I'm gonna have a small part I'm just gonna be seeing on screen at some point, but it's gonna be like my second actor credit. So that's kind of cool, and it's going to be in a creature feature movie, so I'm excited about that. But reason I bring that up is because they just released a poster for the film today, and it was really fun, cool looking, old timey, kind of very comic booky art of a bunch of people running scared from UFOs. I'll post a picture of it on my social media. Or you could go to itcamefromsomewhere.com. I'm not sure if they posted it there yet, but there is info about the movie. And I think there is still a little time to get in and contribute to it. So get in there.
Our friends at Night of the Horror File just talked to them, didn't they?
Yeah, he talked to one of the co-writers. He talked to Brian Parkinson about that a little bit. And the old Honey the Mail Girl. The old mail girl from Joe Bob's show, which they've been hitting me up about coming on our show, so we might get them on here soon. I was actually just talking to them earlier today about it. But yeah, I'm excited, man. It Came From Somewhere. I'm looking forward to seeing my dumb face on the screen in that movie. Let's see. This week we have another filmmaker, a veteran filmmaker. He acts, he writes. We have Ron Ford. He's actually a Washington guy. He came on to tell us about his book that just came out called Hollywood Mortuary. I guess it was a movie. I don't know if it was 80s or 90s, but he wrote it. I'm not sure if he directed it or not. But this is like a novelization of the film. But there's like more to the story in the book too, which just came out from Ron Ford. So he talked about that and a little bit of his history in the conversation, which we'll run here in a few. Another thing I've actually been posting about from Ron Ford is a project he's working on. It's going to be like a stop motion animation thing, and it's based on a story he pitched that almost got picked up by the Twilight Zone back in the day. So look through my social media, especially on Instagram. I posted about it a couple times. It's called February's Choice. I posted the campaign on there. You guys could go contribute to that. Ron actually invited me to do some voice stuff on it. So if that happens, I'll actually get to do some voice work too. It's funny.
That'd be fun.
I could barely speak English, but it's cool. I mean, I'm just trying to. I'm not an actor or anything, but I just want to. I love film and movies. I just want to be involved and find a ways that I can by helping indie projects get done, doing little things like potentially doing voice work in this or popping up in another movie. So it goes in the IMDb. It's credits. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's a fun opportunity, man. I mean, I music is like my number one passion, but I'd say movies is probably number two. You know, I love film, and I've always wanted to do some voice work like that. So yeah, that'll be fun work.
Someday we'll just make a movie. That's what we should do. We should just make a fucking movie, even if it's a 7-minute shitty dumb short film, and
we might be the only ones that watch it, but okay.
Yeah, somebody will watch it. We'll get people to watch it. We'll trick them. We'll trick them to watch it. But yeah, so like I said, we talked with Ron Ford. That'll run in a few. Get to meet him a little bit. Wow. There's it's been a quiet week in the news. It's like last week. There wasn't much to talk about. So we kind of what do we call it? A short but sweet episode.
Pretty much.
This one is gonna. I always said it was gonna be short but sweet, but it still went over an hour. I think this one is gonna kind of follow that same thing because there's not a ton of news.
Yeah, we don't have a whole lot to cover. Honestly, a couple things were announced or released like right after we finished recording the last episode. You know, it seemed like either that day or the next day.
Like the day we were recording, a bunch of like dates and stuff were dropped. And now it's basically we're at a point, we got like this next month where we're gonna be like waiting for all this shit we've been talking about to come out. And then it's just gonna like boom, hit the fan, and people are gonna be like, "What? These guys shut the fuck up!" Like, that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna leave them wanting
stop
more.
Talking about Hocus Pocus too.
For the next couple of weeks, we're gonna leave them wanting more. But then by the time all the stuff comes out and we start talking about it, we're just gonna be like, "Shut the fuck up." That's it. That's enough. There's gonna be like 4-part episode about the monsters and like. Let's just jump right in and talk about this.
We have one episode where we speak to the dragon under the stairs.
Yeah. Let's just jump in and talk about. Speaking of the monsters, by the way, before I get into what I was going to say, go back and listen to Danny Roebuck. He's going to be Grandpa or the Count in the Monsters movie that's coming out this month, next month.
Yeah.
Next month. Still August, right? Yeah, still August.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talked with him. That's going to be cool.
Oh, you know what? And that was confirmed just the other day. There's a little bit of news. I mean, the date was pretty much already thrown out there into the interwebs already, but Netflix confirmed it. September 27th, The Monsters will be out on Netflix.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Speaking of streaming things, they officially decided to put Evil Dead Rise in theaters.
That's right.
HBO, which it's a pain in the ass to get to the theater nowadays because we live so far from the theaters that'll play the movies we want to see.
Yeah,
but it's cool and it probably deserves it, and they feel like good about it that they're going to put it in theaters, so that makes me feel good that it's going to be good. I say good like 12 times in one sentence. That's pretty good too.
It'll be good.
Good. Real good. Fucking good, man. Real good.
Good. And, it's always nice for your favorite franchises to come to the big screen.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm excited to watch it on the big screen.
The more horror I see go into theaters, the happier I get. It's good. It's good for the drunk. Good.
Drink every time we say good.
Today's magic word is good.
How was your day, Steve?
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good,
sucked, to be honest, but it's okay.
Not good.
It will be good. Things will be gooder.
Yeah.
Remember on Pee-wee's Playhouse when they'd say like the magic word and they'd all fucking freak out? I wonder if we get people to do that. We're like driving around listening to Steve and Crypto show, like say good and like instead of drinking. If you're in your car listening, just scream. But if you're home, drink. The two-way
Make sure you roll all the windows down first.
Yeah, and if you're at a red light, make eye contact with the car next to you, the driver next to you, just scream, and then hand them a Steven Crypto sticker. They'll understand. You got some news that you're gonna mention. I want to mention one really cool fucking thing It's actually new. I had heard little bits that they were going to be doing new Exorcist movies. I guess, now that they're done with Halloween, Blumhouse and David Gordon Green are going to tackle an Exorcist trilogy. And
You
really,
know, I think I have a little bit of faith in that.
I do too. And what really got my attention and made me think how fucking cool this is Ellen Burstyn, who is Reagan's mom. Like they've been trying for years. Studios been trying to get her involved in like an Exorcist project and stuff again, and they finally got her to do it. But part of her deal was she wanted the studio to open a scholarship program at a college for students, which I thought was pretty cool. She was like, "I'll do it if you fucking put some kids in school." I think that's
pretty
one
cool.
of the coolest, like, honorable fucking things. And like, I want to go support her in the movie just because she did something cool like that. We need more shit like that.
Yeah.
Because the fucking government sure ain't doing it. But let's not get political. But yeah, put the kids in school.
Yeah, we can all agree with that.
I hope so, unless you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Anywho, episode 90. This is pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah. Who knew we'd make it this far?
I didn't, honestly. After the first handful of episodes, I was like, this is a pain in the ass. And then once I figured out how to streamline the whole process of producing it and stuff, I figured out how to have fun doing it. It started feeling more like a realistic thing, if that makes sense. Sort of does in my brain. My brain's tired. This whole summer, this has been like a lame summer. Like, I can't wait. Let's get fucking fall here. Let's get to Halloween and then slow down. I don't want to get through Halloween fast. They should give us a couple extra days of Halloween because, we got kind of cheated on Halloween the last couple of years. So give us a couple extra days. But yeah, this summer sucked, man. Like, we started good late spring, went to Crypticon, and then we both almost died.
Yeah.
And then I finally get back to feeling normal, and then I almost die again at your house. So it's like, what the fuck, man? This
Attack
summer
of the Killer
sucks,
Porch.
dude. I've had literally a month.
Why didn't we film that? We were talking about making a movie one day. Why didn't we just film Attack of the Killer Porch?
We should, but a month and a half of this summer,
based on a true story,
I've spent basically fucking out of commission. Lame. But so that means this Halloween's gonna be fucking awesome. And I think with all these movies and new series like Wednesday Addams and all this shit coming out, is gonna make up for it. Fingers crossed. It's gonna make up for it. We're gonna do some shows. We're trying to set up a couple things. We're gonna be at the Grit City Comic-Con in Tacoma, Washington in October. All these cool things are going to happen this fall, and it's going to kick ass, and I'm going to forget all about this bullshit summer. So that being said, what kind of interesting news do you got over there?
Well, again, there hasn't been much since we last spoke. One of these things is just left over, and we forgot to mention it last time. So I'm bringing it up now for anybody who hasn't heard about it. Well, I'll start by saying, we've had some fun, like, retro horror movie games come out in the last couple of years. Friday the 13th, the game, fun multiplayer game. And then, of course, Evil Dead, the game, just a couple months ago.
That came out, right?
Yeah.
Weren't there like issues with it when it came out, though?
I mean, some things were a little slow. They had some hiccups, but they're releasing a lot of free content, and they seem to have fixed a few bugs that they had. Last I played it, the new update was that you were able to play in the castle from Army of Darkness, and I can't remember the particular name of this mode that I played. It's basically like a free play or whatever, where I was just able to roam around in the whole place, no time limit, And it was really cool, man. Like the map is big, and just looking around and checking out the sights and of it all is really cool. Um, but I mean, you're fighting all the skeleton, uh, like skeleton warriors or whatever they were, the skeleton deadites. Um, it's fun. But anyway, we had Friday the 13th, the Evil Dead game. Next year, I don't know if they put out the exact date, but sometime next year, we're getting a Killer Klowns from Outer Space video game, which the franchise has definitely become a little more popular in the last few years, thanks to Spirit, the Halloween store. They've been releasing a lot of, masks and costumes and
merchandise, like
the guns, and I mean they have like the guns that make noise and light up and all that. Lots of cool merch for Killer Klowns. So it's kind of like a B grade movie hit for anybody who hasn't seen favorite, it. It's not a movie that I would tell people like you have to go out and see, like you gotta hurry up and go see that one. But
it is to the right people.
It's
fun.
Who
the audience.
What I would say, just kind of speaking to people who maybe haven't seen it yet, it's a good early entry for if you're trying to like introduce your kids to some horror. I mean, the clown thing might freak them out a little bit, but when they're an appropriate age, you judge it, whatever you think.
I mean, you can make them watch Terrifier.
Yeah, who's scarier, Art the Clown or the Killer Klowns?
You want to watch a clown movie? Pick one.
Yeah. So the Killer Klowns aren't really bloody from what I remember. I mean, there's some spooky shit that goes down, but it's not like gruesome.
No.
So it's more playful.
Hacksawing a vagina.
No, nothing like that. It's a little more playful. People might get their heads knocked off, but like there's no blood that I recall.
So you got to pick that one up?
Probably. Yeah.
Sounds like there's Killer Klowns in the background.
Yeah, that's a Killer Sour Patch Kid. Mm-hmm.
It's a podcast killer.
Yeah.
Him and Boogersaurus. Y'all forgot about Boogersaurus, huh?
There's always an appearance. If we ever have like a podcast vault, Boogersaurus is going to be in it. I'm telling you that. Another thing that we didn't mention that I believe was released last week is a very, very quick Hellraiser teaser. Short and sweet, just like our last episode.
I think they released that the day after we recorded.
Yeah. Like, they found out when, like, our schedule, when we were going to record, and they're like, nah, fuck.
Yeah, they need this for next week.
It basically just has the word Hellraiser, running across the screen, and there's kind of like clips of blood and, dark shit going on in the background.
And then I think it said Hulu.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it says Hulu. It might have the date too, didn't it? I know the date isn't like next week though. It's really soon.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it's like early September. I could be wrong.
Ooh.
It happens.
Speaking of early September, what's coming back is that Wu-Tang show on Hulu.
Oh yeah, that was a good show. I like that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they were in production.
Wu-Tang Saga continues or something like that. Yeah. But
when is that coming out?
I believe September 9th, September 8th or 9th.
Okay, the Hellraiser show is on October 7th. My bad. I missed
October 7th. Okay.
But we'll have Wu-Tang hold
well, we got a date. Yeah, we got a date on it. Yeah.
There's something else that we noticed was announced like immediately after we recorded last week, and I forgot what the fuck it was. A date for something. A release date for a movie. Maybe it was this. Maybe it was Hellraiser. It might have been the Terrifier date.
Oh yeah.
I think they might have announced a Terrifier date, which again I don't remember. But yeah, that looked good. I'm glad they gave us a trailer for that instead of just a teaser like Hellraiser.
Right.
But yeah, that's October 6th, which is exactly what we got. We got the date for that like right after we recorded. So we were talking about it after it popped up. So we got the 6th and then the 7th. So we got Terrifier 2 and then Hellraiser. And shit. Something else is coming very soon that we're excited about. Clerks 3. You know?
Oh yeah.
Like off. I don't know why I was thinking it was a horror movie, but
so the live show, the Convenience Tour is coming to Seattle, I think September 25th, which is on a Monday. And I believe there's still some tickets available, actually. Just look it up online, you'll find it.
They're bringing it everywhere.
Yeah, so if you can't check that out, or you just don't feel like you can afford it, Fathom Events is bringing it to select theaters, I believe the 12th through the 18th, or the 11th through the 18th.
A whole week now. Initially it was a one-day thing, but now it's a whole week.
Yep. Well, it was 2. It was 2 days originally. And I think it was like the 13th and the 15th. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to go the 15th because we're going to see Korn that day out at White River Amphitheater. But now that it's a week, I might be able to fit it in somewhere. So, yeah.
How much did you pay for tickets for the Korn concert?
Well, the cheapest ones were like $35, but we got seats because we're getting old. We got seats and we're, kind of close to the stage. We're like $100 a piece. Yeah.
Korn, huh?
Yeah.
I got Korn in my fridge. I'll show you. I'll share it with you. Give me like
show me your corn for like $5.
$5. I'll give you some of it. I mean,
yeah. See, I knew you wouldn't, give me too high of a price. Like $5 is reasonable.
Yeah. Or I'll eat it and then I'll show you the corn in my poop.
I'll
free.
give you $20 to not show me that.
Deal. You can PayPal it to me.
Speaking of concerts, I did notice today. Well, actually, Sarah sent me a link. Rage Against the Machine and Run the Jewels are rescheduling their concert again. It looks like the 3rd time. So they're coming to Tacoma Dome. What was it? March, like early March 8th, March 9th, somewhere around there. Just a couple weeks before my birthday. And I would love to see both groups. And I have seen some live footage on YouTube that they've been doing. What is it? The Run the Jewels track, the first one that Zach did with them, Close Your Eyes and Count to Fuck. They've been doing that live with Rage playing the music in the background, which is pretty cool. So that's something to see. But really, they have like 3 songs together, so it'd be kind of neat to hear them, do a mix of it all or whatever. LP from Run the Jewels was supposed to be producing a solo record for Zach. I mean, that was announced like 10 years ago. But I don't know if we'll ever see the light of day.
Yeah. Probably not. Who knows? Probably never even see the concert in Tacoma, the rate it's going.
I'd like to.
I just mean it's how many times they're going to push it back before they just say fuck it and cancel it.
Yeah. I mean, they've been doing other concerts, so I don't know why they've pushed this one back again.
It's funny.
Honestly, I thought they already did it. I thought they already come to Tacoma Dome.
What's funny is like you're like, I'm gonna go see Korn and I want to go see Rage, and I'm over here like, I wonder how much the Bruce Springsteen tickets are. Like, because he's coming too. Which I'd rather see the Boss than those guys, but
Yeah.
It's the fucking boss, man.
You know,
Anyways.
just a connection to them. The Knotfest Roadshow was here back in June. We didn't get to go, but I wanted to. It was Slipknot and Cypress
I
Hill.
thought you guys went.
No, we wanted to. It just didn't work out.
Oh.
So the drummer for Slipknot that they have now, Jay Weinberg, he is the son
Is he
of
Max's son?
Max Weinberg, yeah, who
That's
plays
cool.
for Bruce Springsteen.
Right, yeah.
So
Max used to be the drummer on
Conan O'Brien
Conan show.
Yep, every night. Yeah. And
he's good.
He
man.
played with the Magnificent Seven. Yeah. And so I guess Conan O'Brien was a big Slipknot fan, probably still is. But when they were coming up, I guess he discovered them, and Conan was really like the main late night guy to give them a chance back in the day and let them come on the show and be like animals on live TV.
Yeah.
And so back then Jay was like 8 or 9, and Max brought him on the show and had him meet all the guys. So he met them at 9 years old, and then fast forward to him being like 26, 27 or whatever, and
now he's playing.
Bam! Now he's playing with the band
because of Conan O'Brien. See that? The world needs to thank Conan O'Brien.
Well, Conan O'Brien
Max
plus
Weinberg.
Daddy has connections.
Thank Max Weinberg. And same time, we can thank the boss, Bruce Springsteen. It's probably he was the mastermind, the boss. That's why he's the boss.
Well, you got Max to thank for Jay being so good.
Yeah.
Jay is actually kind of like encouraging the other guys to step it up because he's a lot younger than they are.
Yeah.
Has a little more energy.
Yeah.
So.
Bunch of old guys in their 30s.
The rest of them are like pushing 50.
Are they getting up there already?
Yeah, they're all in their 40s.
Yeah, I mean, it was like 20 years ago, and like they kind of hit.
I mean, they've been popular. Yeah, I mean, I think they started around like 95, and they got out there in like 99.
Old as fuck.
Yeah.
Old bastards. Anyways, do we have some other movie stuff you were going to mention?
I think we have a little bit. Again, there's just not much. There is sticking with the horror thing. There's some talk about a new Friday the 13th movie possibly happening next year. And anyone who pays attention to horror news like we do, they know that has been a discussion for a while. Like it pops up every couple months. Like, hey, Jason, trying to do something with Jason.
At least
like
once or twice a year, a rumor comes out that somebody got developing something, or then it's like, no, they couldn't do it because of fucking legal shit, or like, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm gonna let myself get excited about that Exorcist project.
At one time, just sticking with the Jason thing, there was a rumor that they were going to make a Friday the 13th movie that had a setting in the snow. Jason was going to be, just leaving a bloody trail
Jason
through
in the snow, huh?
Yeah.
Like skiing. Killing skiers and shit.
All happy, just like going down the hill, slicing away.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Honestly, they'll probably just reboot it and make a new fucking run of movies or something.
The last remake that they did, well, the only remake really, it wasn't bad. I mean, they combined elements of 1, 2, and 3, but I didn't really mind. It turned out well.
I remember if I watched it. Who was in that one? Was that the one with Padalecki from Supernatural? Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I did.
That was pretty
good. That was pretty good.
They had the guest house, by the lake or whatever they were all hanging out in. And
Like his sister was missing, or
yeah. Trying to think of who played Jason. Was it?
Might have been Derek Mears.
Yeah,
it might have been. I feel like you're probably right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big dude. I met him at a convention. He's a big, tall ass dude. Nice guy.
Yeah.
Nice fucking guy, but big. It's a big boy.
Yeah.
Why don't we jump in and get to that chat with Ron Ford? And then we'll come back and we'll do some trivia. And I think you got a couple more things you wanted to mention, and we will call it a day. Okay, here you go, guys. Meet Ron Ford.
Hey kids, I'm Jax, host of the podcast Here for the Booze. Grab a drink and join me in discussing themes in movies, movie recommendations with mild spoilers, movie trivia, decorating my creepy corner, my horror vinyl collection, and horror documentaries. Be sure to check me out on Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, and Instagram. I'll be sure to give you the lowdown of all your favorite horror and maybe something new for you to enjoy. Come find me.
Hey, horror and pop culture fans. This is actress Elise Costin from Interfere 2 and After Hours Cinema, and you are listening to The Steve and Crypto Show.
Hey, we're on the Steve and Crypto Show, and we have a writer and filmmaker who actually happens to be in the same state as me, which is pretty cool. His name is Ron Ford. He's been making movies for quite a while, as far as I could tell. I've kind of watched him from a distance on social media and stuff, and seeing all these projects he's putting up, and it's pretty prolific. He's putting out a lot of work. He just released a book called Hollywood Mortuary, which we are gonna. It's my main reason to have him here to tell us about that book today. But let's meet him and see what he's about. So, Ron, how you doing?
I'm good, Steve. Thanks. Excuse me. Glad to be here.
We're definitely glad to have you. It's good seeing a fellow Washingtonian pushing the horror and sci-fi agenda here, which is good to see.
Yeah, I'm from your side of the state. I was born and raised in Bremerton.
Oh, you're from Bremerton. Okay. Spend time down in Bremerton. That's cool. So you've probably been up in this area then, Port Townsend, and
sure.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us your background. Tell us about some of your movies.
Okay, see, I'm from Bremerton, Washington. Grew up in the '60s with the famous Monsters magazine and Nightmare Theater on television every Saturday, and just my whole life was about these monster movies, and so I always wanted to make films and to write. So when I moved to Los Angeles in the early '90s and started. Well, actually, before that, '85, we moved to Tucson with my ex-wife, and I started working in films there as a driver. And I would leave my scripts with every producer I met. And I worked on a thing called Red Surf, which shot partly in Tucson and partly in Los Angeles. So I got a free trip to LA for that one, and it was a thing called Red Surf with George Clooney and Kiss guy. I'm spacing. The guy from Kiss, anyway.
One of them. It's one of four people, right? Yeah.
Well, the main one.
Yeah. Probably Gene. Probably Gene.
Gene Simmons. Yeah. I'm sorry. My brain doesn't work so good as it used to. Anyway, so I gave a script to that producer, and he flipped over it. He said he was going to hire me to write something for him. That script wasn't commercial. And a year later, it's what he did. He got in touch with me in Tucson, and I wrote the Fear for him, a little horror film. It was a big hit on video in 1995, and that's where it all started for me. That got us moving out to LA, and I wound up being kind of the king of low budget, micro budget movies right at the beginning of the video revolution, when digital video equipment became available to consumers. I made a whole slew of films. Probably the most well-known of those is Hollywood Mortuary in 1998. But I was hired by a lot of different distributors to bring product in for them. I had a reputation. I could bring in these little horror movies for very little money and always on schedule, and sellable films. So I did that for years. Anyway, we moved up here. I'm probably getting too much in detail. Moved up here because my ex-wife was from here, and anyway, I didn't really want to go, but here I am now. I kind of enjoy the place now. What else? Continue making movies. I did Tiki for Fred Olin Ray while I was here in Tucson or in Spokane. And basically since then, I've mostly been making short films. And when COVID struck, I was at home all the time. Plus I retired. So I wrote my book, Hollywood Mortuary. I was at the pressure of David C. Hayes. I don't know if you know him or not, but he's an editor and prolific writer who loves horror stuff. And he's been a friend of mine. He was in one of my films years ago. And he's always been pressuring me to write a novel of it. So I did. And also during quarantine, I started making animated films. And that's basically most of what I'm doing now. I made a film called The Raven, RAVIN apostrophe. That's run a lot of awards. That's probably my most ambitious animation to date. And hey, there I am.
Is there a way to check that animated film out, or?
Well, it's going to be out soon on a disc, and I'm not really allowed to say much about right now. But It's going to be announced probably within this week. Yes, okay. It's going to be available very shortly.
Okay. And
I've also made a compilation of all my animations that I'm trying to get on. I submitted to Film Hub just last week, and hopefully some of these streaming channels will pick it up. I'd love to see it on Tubi or something.
Nice. Very cool.
There's the book. This is it was a print copy for me to look at it. What is it? God damn it. I'm spacing everything. Anyway, this is not for resale on there. I had to go through this and find typos and shit. But that's the only copy I have yet. There should be a big box of them coming to me in the mail right now. And also, in case you're interested, there's Hollywood Mortuary, the video.
Ooh.
The VHS. I couldn't find the DVD right offhand, but that's pretty commonly available on Amazon.
Right on. So, well, since you mentioned Hollywood Mortuary, that's why we're here to hear about the book. So is it a novelization of the movie?
Yeah, it's a novel, and it's it expands the story quite a bit, goes into a lot more detail, but it's basically the same plot. Some of the characters are changed, but pretty much the same, general plot. The movie was made like a mockumentary. We had real movie stars giving interviews about this character like it was a real person. Margaret O'Brien, the famous child actress, Academy Award-winning actress, was in it, playing herself, as was the silent movie star Anita Page and everybody's favorite Ed Wood alum, Conrad Brooks. They all played themselves in interview segments. So we're trying to make it look like it was a mockumentary where they recreated some of the scenes of the guy's life. So in order to keep that tone in the book, I've written it like it's a scholarly biography of this guy. It's got footnotes and it's got filmographies, and it's supposed to read like it's a genuine biography.
Okay, so that you did mention that there are some changes from the book, to the book from the movie. Is that mean that there's potential someday to maybe do like a remake, like reboot it with the new changes, or you never know?
Well, then I'd get the copyright back. It just depends on how well the book does, I suppose. That's my wildest dream.
Yeah. It's just released, right?
Yeah. Like I said, I don't even have mine yet. They're being shipped. It just was like Friday. This is Friday. Last Friday. Available on Amazon.
Okay. Can you give us a little, a synopsis of the story?
Sure. It's about Pierce Jackson Don. He's this mysterious makeup artist who's the king of his game in the 1930s. He especially known for these two serial pictures, Baron Vladimir, Master of Dead Souls, and the Walking Cadaver. And these were played by horror icons that are, obviously based on Karloff and Lugosi. So anyway, Borisoff or Blasco, the Lugosi character, dies in a drug overdose, and then and the studio decides to fire Don because the public has gone tired of monster movies and they want real dramas ripped from the headlines. So anyway, so he gets he's involved with this this mysterious gypsy woman who supplies his makeup stuff. It's all it's not, it's all real hush hush. Anyway, there's some magic there. He doesn't quite understand it and stuff, but he notices a crack in his cheek. So his own personal makeup is starting to fail. He goes to her and demands she give him something stronger, and in the process, he winds up killing her and taking all her shit. And it took some while to figure it out, but the one balm that she tried to keep from him is to resurrect the dead. Now, before I'm getting ahead of myself. Before this, Don was just crazed after being fired. Just crazed with anger, and he goes to Pratt Borisoff, the Boris Karloff character, and tries to talk him into helping him talk the studio back into making movies. But Borisoff's not interested. He wants to retire and tend his garden with his wife. So anyway, in his peak of madness, Don kills Borisoff. So now he's got this stuff that raises the dead. Now he decides. He talks to his reflection all through the whole thing. He's absolutely insane. He's got this massive ego, and then he has a running conversation with his reflection that is always chiding him and prodding him to do better. So he raises these two actors from the dead. The plan is to put them on a killing spree. Since the producers want real stories ripped from the headlines, they figure we'll create a real life horror movie, and they'll have to make a movie out of it. So he sends these two rival actors out on Hollywood at one night and on a killing spree. And they kill 23 people in various locations around Hollywood. And it just gets better from there. I'm not going to give away the ending.
Oh, no, definitely. So Amazon, and do you have a author page on there? They just search Ron Forward and.
No, but if you search Ron Ford, I'm sure you'll find both the movie and the book. You can just search by the title Hollywood Mortuary. Also, it'll bring up both.
Okay, and we'll definitely make sure to get a link up so people can find that.
Great.
So you mentioned like famous monsters and watching the Count and Cairo and all that stuff.
Yeah, you actually know Nightmare Theater.
Oh yeah, I'm a big horror host fan. Like I've been obsessed and digging and trying to learn the history and all that stuff, because growing up I didn't have a horror host, and I was introduced to it later in life. So it's like I just dove down a rabbit hole of horror hosts. And
so where'd you grow up then?
I grew up in Connecticut.
Oh.
I had out of Boston, we had a Creature double feature, but it was unhosted. It was like a Saturday afternoon. Which was
we had two.
So I know you had the Count. And,
there was a guy on Channel 13 for a while. It didn't last real long, but it was called Dr. Zinger.
Yeah.
Dr. Zinger's Projections.
Yep.
My brother and I were on his show when we were teenagers.
Oh, wow.
Lots of fun.
Well, I'll have to chat sometimes so I can hear some stories, because I had this idea recently that I was going to write like an article, like a essay or something on the history of the horror host in the Northwest. And it was like very, very, there's not much left. There's not much footage. There's not, they're just word of mouth stories and this and that. So I ended up turning into a short letter to Scary Monsters magazine, which they told me they were going to print. So we'll see. But yeah, I tried.
Now, there was also J.P. Patches for a time. He did a horror host also called The Doctor. They had Nightmare Theater on Friday and then The Doctor on Saturday. that didn't last very long either.
I didn't know about that. I know they all kind of worked on each other's shows, but I didn't know that. Can't place his name, JP Patch's name, but he performed
Chris
as
Weddick. Yeah.
He performed as the host.
Yeah, he just had a lab coat on, and I don't remember any makeup, and had a mad lab set.
That's interesting.
We interacted with the Count sometimes too.
Oh, very cool. Learn something new every day. I like it. We actually have a mutual friend who's a horror host in Agoro out your way. You just did a project with him recently,
right? I made a short film. I don't know if you guys know Tony Masiello and SOV Horror Video.
I know of the name. Yeah.
Well, he puts these anthologies together, and he asked me to do a short for this one. And Mark and I just become good friends. We did a film together as actors for another guy, Larry Peterson, which was called The Man in the Chair. It was kind of weird thing where it's black and white, and we're both sitting in chairs and having this deep intellectual conversation. It gets a bit strange. But anyway, that's where we kind of met personally. And we both had similar interests. He loved the monsters and had all the models and stuff just like me. So we hit it off right away. Anyway, so I was making this film for Tony, and I asked him to be in it, and he agreed readily. Best performance in it. Tony's stuff, he did these anthology things called Natasha Knighty's Boudoir of Blood, and the other one was Topless Tory's Tomb of Terror. It's supposed to be like USA Up All Night, intentionally scratchy and looks like old 90s TV, and have this host, but she gradually strips between the shorts. Anyway, so my segment on there is called Don't Feed the Monster. And here's a DVD. You can't see it, but right there is Mark Pickney with knife wounds in him.
That's Mark.
Laying in my front yard. Yep.
Right on.
Anyway, that's available now too. That just came out today, I believe.
Yeah, I saw you posting about it coming out, and well, actually, we'll throw a link up to that too, so that way people could check out your work on there as well. It's probably Great. Is that your most recent film?
Yeah. Just it came out today, so I guess so. Plus, it's never been released. And a lot of times, these things they're films I've had out before in different versions, but this one's never been seen before. It's my newest live action production.
Okay, so right now you're mainly concentrating on the animation, then?
Not necessarily. It's it's something I can do at home alone. My friend Mitch Tyner. Ever since I moved to Spokane, he was my makeup effects guy. He was my best friend, and a brilliant artist. And he passed away a couple years ago, and a year and a half ago, and he left me all of his figures and little sets and stuff like that. We always had this dream of making a big animated film, and I just started working on one when he passed away that we were working on together, and then I inherited all this stuff and. So that's what I've been doing ever since. Is I'm here at home and I can make a film and I can write a story and get it on film without having to have a bunch of money and heavy scheduling and all that.
Well, cool. Hollywood Mortuary, the book it just released. Let's get it in people's hands. I think people would dig it. Sounds like a good story. I'm gonna have to track down a copy and give it a read myself for sure. Actually, I need to see the movie too, so I have to find that as well. No,
you're deficit. You have to go see that.
Definitely, yeah. Well, hey, Ron, thank you for hanging out for a few minutes and for the little history lesson on the horror host stuff. That's always big to me.
Oh, my pleasure.
Big to me, yeah. So, thank you. Let's be in touch, and anything new and exciting you're working on, let us know, and we'll spread the word.
Okay, well, I'm trying to develop one right now, but I can't say too much. I'm trying to get a grant for this one from the local arts council. Right, we'll see about that in future episodes.
We'll keep our ears open.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Dr. Gangrene. You're watching the Steve. No, you're not. You're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show right here on whatever network you're on. I don't know what you're on. Don't ask me. I can't see what you're doing, but keep listening and tune in next week for more cool content on the Steve and Crypto Show.
All right, we are back. Thank you, Ron Ford, for telling us about the book. We will definitely talk with you more soon, with him more soon. Hopefully that other project gets done, because I really want to try my hand at doing some voice stuff. That'd be kind of cool. But anyways, that's not set in stone, but
fingers crossed it happens for you.
Yeah, for sure. Let's want to do trivia?
Yeah,
let's do trivia.
Are you guys ready for trivia?
Whether they're ready or not, they're getting it.
Okay.
Just send us answers.
We're bringing it to you.
Send us answers. If you know answers, send it to us, and then we'll send you stuff, and then we'll make you on the list to potentially send you more stuff.
Yep.
You know how it goes.
Yeah, listen to this episode, listen to previous episodes, whatever. Just find one that had trivia in it, which are definitely in the last 15 episodes at least.
At least, yeah.
I
was gonna say dozen, but 15, probably more like it.
Yeah. Yeah. The last 15 episodes, there's definitely some trivia in there. Go listen, give us the answer to any of them. And as Steve said, we're going to send you a prize, and we're going to put you on a list for an even bigger prize down the road. So everybody likes free stuff. All right. So I mentioned Killer Klowns from Outer Space earlier, and it got me thinking about some trivia related to that. So I want to know, which famous stand-up comedian was featured in Killer Klowns from Outer Space? It was one of their earliest roles. I can confidently say that because they look pretty young. But yeah, just give me the answer. Let me know which famous stand-up comedian who has even done some movies and TV. That's a small hint as well. Which one was featured in Killer Klowns from Outer Space?
That guy. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Fucking people. I live in, my town is kind of like this area is kind of a slightly rednecky. So you always hear the little wiener guys go by with their big trucks. So you might have just heard an appearance from Little Wiener Guy in the background. So yeah, answer the trivia question. I had to think about it. And once he told me, I was like, oh yeah, he was one of the young dudes in it. But
oh, see, you just gave them another clue
that
the comic is a male. It's a male comic.
Yep. So there you go. You guys know where to tell us the answer. Do it. Let us know. Had a couple more things we wanted to mention before we wrap up.
Yeah, I mean,
leave you to it. Nothing really exciting.
No, nothing crazy. I found some more Spirit store goodies. Another location popped up out here nearby. There's one in Sequim, Washington. If anybody's coming out this way and you're like,
Speaking
I gotta
of
go to
rednecks.
Spirit. I gotta go to Spirit. Where's the nearest location? You can find one in Sequim, Washington. And they are not completely full yet. They don't have all their displays out yet, but they had a few different things that the Silverdale location didn't have. So just remember that, just because you've gone to one Spirit doesn't mean that you've seen everything there is to offer this year. You might want to check out another one. Yeah. I even found something for you there as a late birthday gift.
Oh,
yeah.
Sweet. Appreciate it. Speaking of Spirit, you mentioned earlier how Spirit is doing a lot of merchandising, like with Killer Klowns and stuff. They do a lot of merchandising with the Hocus Pocus movies, and they kind of released some images, and we got to see Billy Butcherson, our buddy Doug Jones. We got to get a little look at the first look at him recently, and get me more excited. Like I still, you know, we always say we don't know if it's going to live up to the first one, but I think it's going to be pretty goddamn good.
Yeah. I mean, he looks good. The witches look good. I think it's going to be fun.
And I think to get that cast back together, you know, it's probably wasn't cheap. You know what I mean? To get what fucking Sarah Jessica Parker and
to get Kathy and Jimmy,
Bette and
Bette Midler, yeah.
Like they probably weren't gonna do this again with some bullshit script too. You know what I mean?
I wonder,
had to be something pretty goddamn good.
I wonder if this idea has come up before. You know, I mean, the first movie came out like 94. So, I mean, I wonder if even like in 97, they were like, "Ooh, we can do something else with the witches." And maybe there was an idea that was pitched and they're like, "No, this is crap."
Did you know that one of the earliest drafts of the first movie was written by Mick Garris?
Yeah, I did. I remember reading about that somewhere or hearing about it on a podcast. Yeah.
That dude is fucking awesome. Anyways, yeah. So that came out. Did you have anything else to say about Spirit? I'm sorry. It just made me think of.
Well, yeah, they have lots of Hocus Pocus merch this year. Killer Klowns is there again.
You get more free shit.
Trick or treat. No, I paid for everything. I tried to pay for that, but you know,
you better.
The guy just gave it away.
You better have paid for my present. I don't want stolen goods. You can't use me to. I'll not be part of your whole fucking scam.
The guy gave it to me as a gift. Okay. Yeah, they have Gremlins merch. They actually had a fair amount of lunch boxes, which I know you're into.
Yeah. Sure. That's my jam.
They weren't all horror either. I think they had like Ninja Turtles and Transformers, but you know, they had a Gremlins one and I think a Beetlejuice.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got an old Beetlejuice one from the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
I got one floating around somewhere.
Oh, going back to Doug for a minute. Have you caught up on What We Do in the Shadows yet?
You know, I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't. I've been watching a lot of movies. Like if you look in my do you use Letterboxd, the app? It's almost like a IMDb crossed with fucking Instagram. It's like a social media thing kind of, but it's like your own movie diary. You kind of leave your own like reviews and like list of what movies you've watched, and you can follow other people and see their reviews and look what other people watch, or just look up a movie and go through reviews and see how it sounds. You know what I mean? See if it looks good or not. But I usually just go on there and just say smart ass stuff about the movies. Because a lot of movies I watch like aren't good. Like I really like bad fucking horror movies. Like we're talking about like The Shark of the Corn and shit like that.
I knew you were going to say that, and I was going to say, how dare you? Don't say such negative things about Sharks of the Corn. I know you love that movie.
But it wasn't one of my favorite bad movies, but like I'll watch a bunch just because it's like half the fucking time I'll look at a cast and movie, be like, oh, I know that person. You know what I mean? Just making connections and shit. It's like you like to watch your friends' work. You know what I mean? So it's I'll watch a lot of movies like that, and like I said, a lot of them aren't great, but or there'll be some a movie coming that I'll tip a few bucks on like their crowdfunding campaign, and then I'll go look at that filmmaker's other work, and then I'll be like, fuck, I want my money back. No, I'm just kidding. But no. But yeah, it's a cool app, man. You should check it out if you haven't. I don't know why I brought it up. I totally forgot why. But we were talking about Spirit, and then you're talking about movies, and then talked about a Beetlejuice lunchbox, and then I went to Letterboxd, which who the fuck knows? But Yeah.
Maybe you were like thinking, speaking of lunchboxes.
I guess I could say, speaking of shitty movies, Kevin Smith is apparently planning a sequel to Tusk. Which that's all I really want to say about that. Because
all right, I did go see that in the theater. My friends and I went. We went like an hour and a half. We went over to like Lakewood or whatever to go see that.
Yes. Yeah, I hear you. I understand. I feel your pain. You're talking
Riker's
about Tusk,
crying.
and he's upset.
Riker's crying in the background, like, please, I don't want to watch that movie.
Tusk.
I mean, I would say, like, if you enjoy watching movies that are just kind of fucked up, go ahead and watch it. But again,
it wasn't the worst
Killer
movie,
Klowns,
but it was weird.
I'm not gonna rave about it. I'm not gonna tell you like you have to go watch it now. But if you just can't find anything else to watch one night, sure.
Do you feel like a lot of movies like that, like Killer Klowns is a fun fucking movie, but like, do you feel like a lot of movies like that pick up steam later on, like that and Trick or Treat? Do you feel like a lot of it is people just like jumping on the fucking bandwagon? You know what I mean? Because it's like, this is popular now. I like it too.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Not knocking those movies in any way.
No,
both great movies, and I enjoy them. And I feel like I wish people would have appreciated them sooner. I
probably discovered Killer Klowns when I worked at the video store. I don't know if I watched it before that, maybe on TV or something, but I just thought of a fun memory. I was watching it up there at the video store one night, and this kid comes in. I think he comes in the store before his mom got there. And he just immediately like walks in the door and he just starts looking at the TV and he's just in a trance. And then his mom comes in and he's like literally jumping up and down with excitement. And he's like, I want to rent this movie. And she wouldn't let him.
And you're like, fuck you, kid. I'm still not done watching it.
Well, I thought it was a good like starting point, as I was saying earlier,
Yeah.
Because he was probably 10 to 13, somewhere in there, and he was way into it. Like he definitely was interested. And then his mom was like, no, oh, that's right. His mom was like, that's scary, huh? And he said, yeah. And like, no, you just planted that thought into his brain.
Like
he was digging it.
Exactly.
He was digging it till you said something.
You see people that like, because they don't like it.
Yeah.
They don't think their kids should like,
if
what I mean?
She would have paid attention to his expression when he was actually watching the movie and walked up like, that's pretty cool, huh? He'd been like, hell yeah.
And it's not like, people or like if the kid watched it and that did something bad, she would blame the movie. Like, no, that's your parenting.
Like, I woke up wrapped up in cotton candy.
Yeah. Sure, it ain't the first time you woke up covered in something sticky. Hey-yo. I think with that being said, maybe we should remind people where they could support us in our antics before we bid them adieu.
Yeah, give us more money and contributions, or we will continue the stupid jokes.
We're still gonna, but we'll yeah. Anyways, yeah, so go to patreon.com/Steve Crypto. Like I said, we did just post a video. Crypto bought himself a present and made a little video to show you guys. So go look at his present.
Yep.
If you're a patron, you could join and do as little as $1 a month up to $50 million. But we'd be happy with $1 a month. It all helps. Go to buymeacoffee.com/Steve Crypto. You could send us money there. You could do social media stuff. He's CryptoZoo88. I'm the Steve Strout. That's on Twitter and Instagram, where we're very busy.
Yep. Be sure to check out our merch. Etsy.com/Steve and Crypto merch.
My way is easier. Just go to Etsy and search.
I totally messed that up.
Crypto.
Etsy/shop/Steve and Crypto merch. There we go. Sorry.
The Facebook group, Steve and Crypto Podcast Facebook group. Go there, join that. Invite a whole bunch of your friends to join it. Even if they don't, just try anyways. Leave us reviews and ratings wherever you listen, if possible. And with that being said, we are coming up on episode 100 very soon. We're like, in the next couple months, we're going to hit 100. And that's really exciting. And we want to try to plan something exciting. I'm thinking of ideas. If you guys have any cool ideas to celebrate 100, shoot us ideas. I'm thinking maybe catching up with a few of our early guests, see what they've been doing in the last 90 plus episodes. We're working on a Halloween episode. What we have lined up potentially is going to be pretty fucking bitching. And Halloween's coming. I like to do my 30 days, watch a horror movie every day or something horror related every day from October 1st to the 30th, because the 31st I reserve for giving out candy and playing spooky games and hanging out with friends and loved ones. But the first 30 days, I want to make a list of movies. So shoot me a movie idea, preferably something I don't have to go buy. So streaming. If you're a filmmaker and have a movie that you want me to watch and you could get me a copy of it, I'll add it to my list. And if it's good, we'll probably talk about it on here. So yeah, help me make a list. I mean, there'll be the staples every year I watch. We'll watch it like Hocus Pocus. All the new movies coming out are going to be on the list by default. I always watch Night of the Living Dead about 20 times a year. That'll be on my 30-day list. Are there any what's one movie that you watch every October? I don't want to say too much. I want to save this topic to talk about some of our staples that we watch, but first movie to come to mind. Oh, did I ask you a tough question?
Yeah. Hell yeah, you did.
Tell you what.
All right. American Werewolf in London.
Okay. See, that's a good one. That's a real good one. So let's think on that. I'll think about it. And you guys listening, shoot us some of your favorite movies to watch during this season. And that's something we'll fuck with and try to talk about in the next few episodes at some point or another. And I think with that being said, I think we can say goodbye to episode 90. And we'll see you guys. I always say we'll see you, but we don't really see them. We will speak with you next week on episode 91. So I'm Steve.
I'm Crypto Zoo. You'll be hearing us having some fun on episode 91. Back with the rhymes. Peace.
God damn it.